There is something strange that happens when you turn 50. For years, you spend your life looking forward. You're chasing the next goal, the next achievement, the next milestone. You're building a career. You're raising a family, trying to become someone. And then one day you look up and you realize you've lived enough life to finally understand something. You were never trying to become a finished person. You were trying to understand the unfinished one. That realization changed everything for me. Because for most of my life, I thought growth meant becoming someone who had all the answers, someone who was confident all the time, someone who never struggled, someone who always knew what to do next. But turning 50 has taught me something very different. The strongest people are not the ones who have everything figured out. Oh no. The strongest people are the ones who are honest enough to admit they are still learning, still growing, still becoming. Because after 50 years of living, I've realized something. The human experience is complicated. We can be strong and we can still struggle. We can be successful and still feel uncertain. We can love people deeply and still hurt them. We can accomplish incredible things and still have moments where we question ourselves. More than one thing can be true at the same time. And learning to accept that has been one of the greatest lessons of my life. My journey has taken me through places I never expected. I've been a student, a teacher, a pastor, a mentor, a leader, a husband, a father, a son, a brother, a friend. I have spent years studying people, helping people, leading people, and trying to understand people. My education has taken me through different worlds. I studied biblical history and church administration. I earned a master's degree in counseling psychology. I earned an MBA. And throughout every chapter, one thing became clear. The more I learned about people, the more I realized how much there is still left to learn. Early in my life, I thought knowledge was the same as wisdom. I thought if I could just learn enough, achieve enough, and work hard enough, I could figure everything out. But life has a way of humbling you. Because some lessons cannot be learned from books. Some lessons can only be learned through life experience, through disappointment, through failure, through relationships, through moments when you have to look in the mirror and ask yourself some difficult questions. And I've had those moments. I've had seasons where I was my own biggest obstacle. Times when my own expectations created pressure I didn't need. Times when my desire to succeed became connected to my desire to prove myself. Times when my ego wanted to be more right than it wanted to understand. And that is a painful thing to admit because nobody wants to believe they are the problem. It is much easier to point outward, to blame circumstances, to blame other people, to explain why things happened the way they did. But maturity requires something different. It requires the courage to look inward, to ask yourself, what part did I play in this? What can I learn from this? How can I become better because of this? That doesn't mean every difficult thing that happens is your fault. Life is complicated. People make choices that impact us. People misunderstand us. People disappoint us. People sometimes hurt us. But eventually you have to decide, am I going to let my experiences make me bitter? Or am I going to let them make me wiser and better? That has probably been one of the biggest lessons of turning 50. Nobody is coming to save you. And when I say that, I don't mean you don't need people. We absolutely need people. I have been blessed by people who encouraged me, challenged me, supported me, and walked with me through different seasons of life. But at some point, you have to take responsibility for your own growth. Nobody else can do your inner work for you. Nobody else can heal the wounds you refuse to confront. No one else can make the decisions you're afraid to make. No one else can make you become the person you were created to become. At some point, you have to choose yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a responsible way. Because your life is your responsibility. Your choices are your responsibility. Your next chapter is your responsibility. And there is something incredibly freeing about realizing that. Because if you are responsible for the next steps and the next things in your life, then you also have the power to change it. You are not stuck. You are not finished. You are not defined by where you are today. One of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older is that your circle changes. That is your circle of friends. And honestly, that can be painful. Because when you're younger, you often measure success by how many people know you, how many connections you have, how many people are around you. But somewhere along the way, life teaches you something different. It's not about how many people are around you. It's about who is truly with you. Because not everyone who starts the journey with you is meant to finish the journey with you. Some people are there for a chapter. Some people are there to teach you something. Some people are there because they genuinely love you and want to see you become the best version of yourself. And learning the difference is part of growing up. At 50, I value authenticity more than popularity. I value honesty more than convenience. I value the people who can celebrate my victories, but also challenge me when I need to grow. Because real relationships are not built on pretending, they are built on truth. And one of the greatest freedoms that comes with age is realizing you don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to chase every person. You don't have to convince everyone to understand you. You don't have to carry the weight of every opinion. Because here is another lesson I've learned. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you think they are. For years, many of us live under the pressure of an imaginary audience. We worry about what people will say. What will people think? How will people judge us? We hold back dreams because we're afraid of criticism. We avoid opportunities because we're afraid of embarrassment. We stay comfortable because we're afraid someone might see us fail. But eventually, you realize something incredibly freeing. Everyone else is fighting their own battles. They are worried about their own insecurities, their own problems. They have their own questions to answer. The person you're afraid is judging you is often too busy trying to figure themselves out. And when you understand that, you become free. Free to take risks, free to grow, free to become who you actually are instead of who you think everyone wants you to be. Another lesson turning 50 has taught me is that time is more valuable than almost anything else. Because when you're young, you think you have unlimited time. You think there will always be another opportunity, another conversation, another chance. But eventually you realize time is the one thing you cannot get back. And that changes the way you look at life. You start asking different questions. Not, how do I impress more people? But who do I want to spend my time with? Not, how do I achieve more? But what actually matters? Not, what will people remember me for? But who did I become while I was here? When I think about regret, I don't think about most people and how they regret the things that I've done or tried. I think people regret the things they never gave themselves permission to do. The dream they never pursued, the conversation they never had, the relationship they never repaired, the opportunity they walked away from because fear convinced them they weren't ready. And maybe that's one of the greatest lessons of getting older. You realize that waiting for the perfect moment is often just another form of fear, because the perfect moment rarely comes. Eventually, you have to step forward. You have to take the chance. You have to trust that you can handle whatever comes next. And that brings me to another lesson that I've learned. You don't know what you don't know. See, when you're younger, you often believe you understand the world. You believe you have the answers. You believe your perspective is the perspective. But life has a funny way of expanding your understanding. See, at 20, you think you know everything. At 30, you start realizing how much you don't know. At 40, you begin questioning things you once believed. And at 50, you start appreciating the mystery. You realize wisdom is not having every answer. Wisdom is being humble enough to keep learning. It's understanding that every person you meet can teach you something. Every experience can shape you. Every season can reveal something about yourself. And maybe that is why I believe the ego can become one of our greatest obstacles. Because the ego wants certainty. It wants recognition. It wants to be right. It wants to protect the image we have created of ourselves. But growth requires humility. Growth requires being willing to say, I was wrong. I need help. I still have something to learn. The strongest people I know are not people who never make mistakes. They are the people who are willing to learn from them. They are willing to grow. They are willing to change, because the goal is not to protect an image. The goal is to become a better human being. And that brings me to the greatest lesson I've learned at 50. We are all unfinished. For so much of life, we believe we are trying to arrive somewhere. We think one day we will finally become the person we were meant to be. But maybe that day never comes. Maybe that was never the point. Maybe life is not about becoming finished, but life is about becoming. Becoming wiser, becoming kinder, becoming more self-aware, becoming more honest, becoming more comfortable with who we are and who we are still becoming. The unfinished parts of us are not weaknesses. They are reminders that we are still alive. We still have the chance to grow. Still, we have the chance to learn, to evolve. And that is what the unfinished human is all about. It's not about pretending we have everything figured out. It's about having the courage to explore the question that makes us human. Why do we think the way we think? Why do we struggle with the things we struggle with? Why do we chase things that don't and never will fulfill us? Why do we sometimes hurt the people we love? Why do we sometimes struggle to love ourselves? These are not questions with simple answers, but they are questions worth exploring. Because the more we understand ourselves, the more we understand each other. And maybe that is what this life is really about. Not becoming perfect, not becoming complete, but becoming more aware, more intentional, more compassionate, more human. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still becoming. And so are you. Because we are all unfinished humans. Understanding people begins with first understanding yourself. If you enjoyed this, consider sharing, liking, and subscribing to this channel for more insights on the amazing, unfinished human experience.